Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, Sell Rules, week number 41, ending January 18th, 2019. I'm sharing my stock journey as I practice and develop my sell rules. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought, nor is it an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm just allowing you to follow me along on my journey as I buy and sell stocks. The market direction is a confirmed uptrend, which means it's okay to add to your portfolio, but it's still coming out of a correction. All the major indices are still below their 200-day moving average. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average 6-month chart, and that white line is the 200-day simple moving average. The red line is the 50-day. So you can see the stock moved above the 50-day this week, and it's getting close to its 200-day moving average. And in the volume section, there's a lot of green bars, and it's starting to be above average volume. So the next few days, if this stock goes above the 200-day moving average, will be great. People are waiting to see if stocks have resistance there or if it just goes back through that line. And the NASDAQ is similar. It is still below its 200-day moving average, the white line, and we will see if it goes up. And the S&P 500 looks pretty much the same. The activity for week 41, I had 3 buys and 2 sells. I've held Herbalife for 13 days and it's up 1%. Finally, it's in the positive. I did raise my floor up to 56.03, which is where that number 1 is, right above that. You can see the close for 2 stocks closed right around that point. So if this stock drops below that point, I'm considering it a failed advance. And you can see where the floor is at now. Horizon Pharma, I've held this stock for 4 days and it's down 2%, and I am raising that floor to the 20-day exponential moving average. Even though the stock hasn't gone up any, I think that makes sense for a place to put my floor. So if it drops below that, my stop limit order will trigger and it will sell automatically. Kirkland Lake Gold, I've held this stock for 6 weeks and it's up 10%. It is down 1% from last week. I'm thinking of selling this stock because it's decreased acceleration. The number 1 is showing that for 12 days it had gone up a total of 24%. Number 2 is showing 16 days where the stock is up 7%. And then number 3 is showing 12 days where the stock is up 1%. And you can see the angle of those arrows from 1 to 2. That 2 is not as steep as number 1, and number 3 is not as steep as number 2. So this stock seems to be flattening out. At number 4, it also closed low for the day, where that black dot is right next to that number 4, and at the 10-day simple moving average. Down at the bottom, the MACD, I haven't used this too much, but I can see that it has changed character from when the red line was above the dash green line and now it's below, and those blue bars have gone away too. So I'm thinking about taking my 10% in this stock and selling it. Viva Systems. This is a new purchase and I did not record a buy video for it, so I'm going to explain my purchase now. So that dash green line shows my purchase price, and right under number 1 is the day that I purchased it, the last bar on this chart. I typically put a box around it, but on my markup tool, I can't do that until it's a few more days out. This stock basically closed flat. I didn't make any real progress this week. I just bought it on Friday. It is number 1 in the IBD 50. It's also on the IBD sector leader list. It has a relative strength of 97 and a composite rating of 99. It has steady sales and increased earnings over several quarters. Stock Doctor gives it an A+. You can also see down in the volume section that it has lots of green bars and only a few red bars for the past few weeks. Viva also had a great prior uptrend, 73% in 35 weeks. Number one is showing October before this stock fell apart. And now at number two, the stock has come back to the price point that it was at before. So it's pretty much recovered from October, and that's where I bought it. This is one of the two charts that I'm having a hard time getting to work in my Fidelity Active Trader Pro account. It just isn't displaying. It only displays like 10 days worth. So I mark this up, and the green arrow is pointing to the purchase day, and the dashed green line is the purchase price. The yellow is 8% below that. That's my floor. So this stock, Apex Medical, I've held it 6 days and it's up 5%. Last week it was up 1% in a day. And you can see the last 3 days, those red bars are showing that it's hitting resistance at that price. It doesn't seem to be able to move above that. CRM Salesforce is another chart that I can't get to work. I've held this stock for 6 days and it's up 3%. And I am going to move my floor up to the 25-day simple moving average, which is the pink line on this chart. Zendesk, I've held this stock for 8 days and it's up 3. And I'm raising my floor up to that 20-day exponential moving average. Dexcom, I've held this stock for 5 days and it's up 5%. That's awesome. This stock had formed a double bottom pattern that's indicated by that W, and I did raise my floor where that number 1 is, which is the middle high of that W. So that's where my floor is at now, 138.59. Veritex, I've held this stock for 7 days and it's up 5%. I did raise my floor up to the 20-day exponential moving average, and I have an automatic stop limit order. If it reaches that point, it will automatically sell. Chegg, I have held this stock for 10 days and it's up 11%. Yay! And I am raising my floor up above my purchase price to that 20-day exponential moving average. If this stock falls to that point in the next week, then I think that this breakout is a fail. Square, I've held this stock for 9 days and it's up 15%. This is one of the stocks that I bought when it was below the 200-day moving average. One of the stocks that fell apart in October and I thought was going to come back. So it has gone above its 200-day moving average now, and I am going to raise the floor up to that 20-day exponential moving average. This is my current holding bar chart for all the stocks that I own. Each bar represents a week. So in the middle there in the aqua, you can see Kirkland Lake Gold. I've held that stock for 6 weeks, and you can see it had been going up, and then it's just held steady for the last 2 weeks. Chegg in the green over on the left is doing nicely. You can see that it's gone up about 11. And Square is really doing well. It's up 14%. It's in the purple there. I've changed this chart up a little from last week. I used to show the total holdings of a stock, and now I changed it to the dollar value of just the gain. And then I sort it with the losers on top. And my theory is if I take care of my losers, my winners will take care of themselves. Horizon Pharma up at the top is showing a loss of $224, and I've just purchased that this week. It's a new holding. Viva, I also just purchased this week since it has just one box there, and it's slightly up, but basically flat. And you can see Herbalife, the third one down, it had been down $91, and then the next week it was down $388, and now I have a gain of $81. Down at the bottom, you can see the best performers. Kirkland Lake Gold, which I've held a while, has $1,000 gain. Chegg has $1,100 gain, and Square has a $1,500 gain. And both Chegg and Square I've just held for 2 weeks. The weekly change chart is showing the percentage change for the week, unless it's a stock that I just purchased and then it says purchase price. So Horizon Pharma is my biggest loser. I sort with the biggest loser on the top. It's down 2.2% since I purchased it. The next one in the list, Kirkland Lake, since I've held that for more than a week, that percentage loss there, the negative 0.6%, is for the week. This is my benchmark against the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is just back above even for the period of my experiment. So it has a gain of 0.5%. And I have a $17,000 gain for a 17% gain since I started this experiment 41 weeks ago. That gray bar in the middle is my revised goal. So by week 52, I hope to have a $40,000 to $50,000 gain in this. I had wanted to double my money, but I think that's a little unrealistic given that I just have 11 weeks left. This is the industry and sector breakdown. Down on the right-hand side, I have my breakdown from last week, and you can see that I cut back on finance and I added in some more medical stocks. And up in the top right-hand side is showing you the dollar value of my holdings by sector. I really like this weekly tracker for my current holdings, and I added 6 columns there that I've highlighted in yellow. I wanted to see the total gain and the total loss for the stocks that I'm holding. And I'm not sure that average days gain was going to help me, so I just put a max days for my gains, my loss, and a min days for my gains and my loss, and I'll see how I use those. But right now on, if you look at the two last rows there, January 11th, I had a total gain of 3,549 and a loss of 486. And this week, January 18th, my gain is up to 6,123 and my loss, total loss, has come down to 224. So that's awesome. I also track my sold positions on a weekly basis, and I did sell 2 stocks this week. My largest loss was $309, and my total loss for both stocks combined was $410. My cash balance at the end of week 41 is $1,688. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want alerts when I post a new episode.